Seth Greenberg, ESPN college basketball analyst, former head coach at Virginia Tech, South Florida, and Long Beach State. And he joins us on the program. Good morning, Seth.
Dan, what's going on, man?
All right, tell me who you would take number one. Not who you think will, but who would you take number one? Let's just start there.
I would take Joel Embiid. He's the guy with the greatest upside in the draft. The navicular stress fracture is a concern, but Michael Jordan recovered from that, and he played pretty hard and pounded on it and jumped pretty high and landed on it. And, medicine isn't what it was when maybe Bill Walton had the injury or even Eric Montrose. To me, Embiid is a guy that could change your organization. He's going to be, has a chance to be a 10-year All-Star, a guy that can defend ball screens, run the floor, protect the front of the rim. Everyone's got an if in this draft, Dan, and I think that he's got the least if you eliminate the injury.
Well, they can't whiff again. They whiffed on Bennett, or at least all signs are they whiffed on him last year. So I think that's where you get nervous. I think they'd rather trade the pick and not have the pressure of taking somebody number one overall.
I agree with that, and I think the pick has obviously tremendous value. It's very hard to trade that overall number one pick unless you know you're going to get tremendous value. The one thing about an NBA trade people don't realize, you always know what you're getting rid of. You never know what you really get. You know what you're getting rid of, but you're not totally sure on what you're getting. So there's a risk in that. But you're talking about an organization that wants to have a chance to make a run at LeBron James. The other thing is if you trade it and you take on some big salaries, it limits your cap space.
This whole Dante Exum, the man of mystery here, I just find it fascinating because I'm looking at grainy footage. The Zapruder film had better quality to it. But Dante Exum from Australia is 9-foot wingspan, and he's got handle, and he can play point and two, and his vertical. And it seems like we value what we don't really know that well. That there's a fascination with this. We're going to find the next great player. That the guy in front of us, we've seen him, Dante Exum. Is Exum able to live up to I know they market him brilliantly, but is he able to live up to all of this hype?
It's hard to live up to hype. Look what happened to Andrew Wiggins. I mean, he was the next LeBron, the next Kobe. And as soon as he played his first game, he doesn't shoot it that well. He's not that competitive. He's got warts in his game. The thing is that the unknown. Dante Exum is a really good prospect. There's no doubt about it. He's long. He's got a great first step. He can get to the rim. He's athletic. Basketball's not just a track meet and a high jump contest. You've got to have skills. That's like the Zach Levine thing. Like, he wasn't a good player at UCLA. Why is he going to be a good player in the NBA?
He's got unbelievable talent. You're right.
Think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't a good player. He was a bad player. Now he was an average college player that could run and jump. Yep. And now he's going to be a lottery pick and the next Russell Westbrook. Everyone wants someone to be the next guy. Like, all right, Zach's going to be the next Russell Westbrook. Then you got Elfrid Payton. He's going to be the next Damian Lillard. Then, you've got Dante Exum's going to be the next Kobe Bryant. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. Everyone thinks it's going to be simple. It's not that easy. Exum is a long, athletic kid with maturity, suspect jumper, slow release, can get in the lane. Can he play with men? Can he play in the lane with a body on him? Can he get through a screen? How will he deal with the maturity aspect of it? He's a good prospect, but I look at Marcus Smart. We know all his warts, but he's got an NBA body, can get in the lane, and can guard anyone. We know that for a fact.
Okay, Smart or Exum?
I would pick Smart.
Okay. Yeah, Exum's jumper, and look, I only do one thing well, and that's shoot. I don't do anything else. So I can look at a shooter and say, I don't like his jumper. Got a hitch in it, but he's got other things. I don't know if he's a true 1 or 2, so that's another issue.
But in the NBA, there's no such thing as a point guard anymore. Like the NBA, everyone's a ball guard. I think point guard per se in the NBA today, Dan, they've got to be able to score. They've got to be able to get in the lane. As good as Chris Paul is, he can drop 30 on you.
Yeah. Tony Parker.
You've got to be able to do both. You've got to be able to do both in the NBA. The pure point guard, I think that's gone. That's down the road, just like the pure post player is down the road.
He's Seth Greenberg, ESPN college basketball analyst, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Shabazz Napier is moving up the charts, and I don't know if part of it is LeBron loves him, and now the Heat are going to try to accommodate LeBron, whether you believe that or not. What do you think of Shabazz Napier of UConn?
I did a bunch of his games this year. I really like the kid. He's got a toughness about him. A couple things he can do. And if you break him down as an NBA prospect, all right, yeah, he is undersized. There's no doubt about it. Doesn't have NBA speed. We go back to, is it a track meet or not? Has great ability to change speeds. But what he does do, and part of it was the system, he is so good coming off those ball screens, whether it's a drag ball screen in transition, off a shake ball screen like in a half-court set. He sees all 5 defenders, and if you go under, he's got deep, deep NBA range right now today. He's a very good defender, really long arms, can put pressure on the basketball. You wonder, can he guard the really quick guys in the league, and if someone tries to post him. But he's got a toughness about him. At one point in the season, he led them in points, assists, rebounds, every offensive statistical, steals, every statistical category basically that UConn had. Shabazz Napier led him in, and he's grown so much. I watched him as a sophomore and into his senior year. The manner in which he's grown as a leader, his maturity. Now, the whole LeBron thing, that sounds great. If they could get a really good point guard that LeBron knows can get it done and bring that to the table, I think, that would fill the void of, we got to draft Shabazz Napier.
All right, here's your challenge. Compare Doug McDermott to a current or former NBA player who's not white.
That's a pretty good challenge. First of all, I love Doug. I love Doug McDermott. I think Doug McDermott's going to go to the NBA and score 15 points a game.
Okay.
I think he's a really skilled, versatile, better athlete than you think. Unbelievably strong lower body. His lower body is ridiculous. He can hold a spot. He can create space. He can get you off your feet. He's got a PhD in moving without the ball. I mean, he's really a very good player. Going to be a great trail guy in transition. You can put him in ball screens in the NBA. It's going to force a switch. Now, as I'm talking, I'm trying to go through my mind and find a player for you. I'm stalling right now, Dan.
It's not possible, There's
got to be any skilled hybrid forward.
How about Mark Aguirre?
Yeah, he's got a little Mark Aguirre in him. He's a bigger Mark Aguirre.
Yeah.
Mark Aguirre didn't shoot or cut like Doug McDermott. Doug McDermott's a great cutter.
Well, you're going to hear Kiki Vandeweghe. He didn't. Yep. I mean, I loved Kiki, especially when he went left. You go left and he'd dunk on you.
Yeah.
But just sort of Kiki was very underrated, I thought, athletically. But I had to compare him to a white guy. So I tried to go Aguirre on you, and that's not going to work.
Aguirre was 6'5". He was more of a low post scorer. Didn't shoot it that way. Didn't shoot it away from the basket.
He scored a lot.
Oh, he could score. And then you can go Adrian Dantley, who again around the basket, footwork. But Doug McDermott's he's a hybrid forward because of his ability to move without the ball, shoot it, create a little step back. He's not a 1-1 player, but you can put him in a ball screen.
Imagine if he played though in Europe, and we didn't know that much about him, but we saw him lighting up everybody, and you realize he had a 33-inch vertical. And his name was, Helmut McDermott.
He would be Dario Saric. That's who he would be.
He would be compared to Dirk Nowitzki. He's a shorter Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah, I mean, what he is a really good basketball player, and he's got to play with the right team. The big thing is we talk about all these players. Fit is so important in terms of system and the other players you're playing with. If he plays in the right system, he plays with a point guard that as they come off that screen, they can make a shot. So therefore, when he ball screens, it's hard switching. You got to step out. He plays with a team that plays with good spacing, so that on penetration, he can spot and knock down shots. And then he plays a team that you can invert your offense because he can post up. He's an interesting decision, and there are other guys like that. I mean, like P.J. Hairston, the kid who was at Carolina, played in the D League, shot 39% from the 3-point line in the D League. I mean, he's a guy that's going to go late 20s because of character or mid 20s, who's going to come in and score a lot of points in the NBA because he's NBA ready physically.
Seth, have fun tonight. All right.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, good
Thanks
to have you on.
Me.
All right, that's Seth Greenberg, former college coach. Last stop was Virginia Tech, ESPN college basketball analyst.